If there's a food capable of improving the health of my heart and brain, while also strengthening my defenses against infections and cancer, that is garlic. This widely available plant has been equated by science with many medications due to its anti-hypertensive, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant powers that we will explore. So, I'll explain what dosage I should take to achieve these benefits, which variety is best suited to my goals, and who should limit their intake. Today I share with you the benefits and risks of consuming garlic daily. The great power of garlic for our health undoubtedly comes from its star component, allicin, which curiously is not found in this plant in its natural form, but rather we create it when we crush, cut, or grind it. By doing this to garlic, we enable two of its substances, allicin and alliinase, to come into contact and thus form the desired allicin to provide us with its anti-inflammatory, cardiovascular, and anti-cancer benefits that we will see. And it's essential that once we've cut the garlic, we let it rest for at least 10 minutes before consuming it to allow more allicin to form. Also, we should not heat it, because allicin is heat sensitive and decomposes during cooking. Thus, the best way is to consume garlic raw or at most added at the end of cooking our meals, so it doesn't heat up too much and lose its properties. Now that you know how to activate garlic, I will explain its benefits, and then we will see how we should consume it and some precautions. The first benefit of garlic is the health of our heart. Garlic, specifically allicin, will help us improve our cardiovascular health, first by lowering blood pressure. Allicin is very effective at dilating our arteries to allow blood to flow more easily, giving our heart a break as it will need to do less work to pump blood, and we will also reduce our probability of suffering a heart attack or stroke. Indeed, we have seen that according to numerous studies, garlic decreases our systolic blood pressure, the high one, by an average of 10 points, especially in people with hypertension. In fact, its effect is such that it has been compared in some trials with drugs like atenolol, with garlic performing very well in the comparison. Additionally, garlic lowers LDL or bad cholesterol by 10 to 15% and increases HDL, the so-called good cholesterol. This will help prevent the formation of atheroma plaques, fat accumulations in the walls of our arteries, which are the trigger for the world's leading cause of death. That is, the mere act of consuming garlic daily, both in the diet and as a supplement, as we will later see in what doses, will help lower my cardiovascular risk. Secondly, we have the anti-cancer properties of garlic. Garlic consumption decreases our risk of cancer, especially colon and gastric cancer. Normally, when a cell undergoes an inappropriate change or its DNA is damaged, that cell protects us by dying, self-destructing, to prevent the spread of these damages in our body and thus prevent diseases. But when this process fails and these mutated cells manage to survive, that's when cancer appears in our body. And allicin helps us avoid this, first by protecting the DNA from these damages, and secondly by aiding apoptosis, that is, making these already mutated cells self-destruct and not spread in our organs. Thirdly, we have the effects on the immune system. Allicin behaves like a natural antibiotic, as it has antibacterial, antiviral properties, and also improves our body's function in fighting diseases and infections. That is, it strengthens our immune system. In fact, we have seen that people who consume garlic daily suffer 70% fewer colds compared to those who do not consume it, and not only that, but they also recover faster from these colds. In some studies, managing to do so in just 1.52 days compared to 5.02 days in the group that did not consume garlic. Fourthly, we have garlic's protective role on our brain. It turns out that in most studies that have analyzed the anti-aging power of allicin, there is a benefit that always ends up taking center stage. Garlic has a special interest in our brain. We have seen that regular consumption of garlic reduces age-associated cognitive decline. First, the antioxidant role of allicin protects our neurons from damage caused by free radicals, which is especially important in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, where oxidative stress plays a key role. And second, because chronic inflammation contributes to these neurological diseases, so allicin, by reducing our inflammation, will have a protective effect on our brain over the years. Moreover, in Alzheimer laboratory models treated with garlic, an improvement in cognition is observed compared to the group that does not consume it. And another way garlic will protect my brain is because it facilitates the supply of nutrients and oxygen to different parts of it, and at the same time helps prevent the formation of microthrombi in the vessels of different brain areas. And these microthrombi are a silent enemy, because although they do not give us acute symptoms like in a stroke, they gradually disable important areas of our brain, contributing to cognitive decline. And this is where things get really interesting, and this should be taken with caution because it is still to be proven in humans. But in some lab studies, we see that garlic compounds promote the formation of new neurons, what we know as neurogenesis. Fifthly, garlic will help us lower our blood sugar levels. Allicin makes our cells more sensitive to insulin, the hormone responsible for our organs taking glucose from the blood and using it to obtain energy. So, better insulin sensitivity means our body will use sugar more efficiently, and we will see our blood levels reduced. This will be fundamental not only for people with type 2 diabetes, but for everyone interested in improving their long-term health. As we know, having low blood sugar levels is itself a marker of a longer life expectancy. Sixthly, we have the anti-inflammatory power of garlic. Garlic's allicin has demonstrated in several studies the inhibition of pro-inflammatory molecules in our body, such as inflammatory cytokines. And we have seen this reflected in studies of people with arthritis, where not only do we see chronic inflammation values reduced, but people also report having fewer symptoms compared to those who do not consume garlic. And now that I know the benefits of consuming garlic daily, I'm interested in knowing, how should I consume it? The most accessible way is undoubtedly to eat white garlic directly. A clove of garlic a day, as we said, cut, crushed, or mashed, and waiting at least 10 minutes to form enough allicin. Another form of garlic that is gaining popularity is black garlic, which is a special type that is made by keeping white garlic bulbs in heat and humidity for several weeks, resulting in garlic with black cloves, which has the peculiarity of being 3 times more antioxidant than white. And another mode of consumption is garlic supplements, which will be an interesting option for people who do not like the taste of garlic or who have difficulty consuming it in its raw form, with aged garlic extract being the supplement that has the most studies behind it, in doses of 600 to 1,200 mg per day. Now, as for the precautions we should keep in mind, garlic is generally safe for most people in the amounts I have mentioned, but in higher doses or in susceptible individuals, garlic can cause various side effects such as gastrointestinal discomfort, including pain, swelling, gas, nausea, and diarrhea. These symptoms are more common if we consume garlic on an empty stomach, something I advise against unless one has an iron stomach or is accustomed to doing so. And consuming garlic with other foods instead of on an empty stomach will combat these unwanted digestive effects. Another well-known adverse effect, although it is more social than medical and more difficult to escape, is bad breath, due to its high sulfur content. There are recommendations like consuming it with lemon or rubbing the skin of a citrus fruit on the garlic bulb, but unfortunately, they are not too effective. And on the other hand, we can have an increased risk of bleeding, so it is especially important to keep this in mind if I'm going to undergo surgery or if I take anticoagulant medications such as warfarin or azinocumarol, and in these special cases, it will be advisable to consult with my doctor if I plan to include a clove of garlic or a garlic supplement in my daily routine. Remember that conventional doctors, those who also cure with pills in consultation, are increasingly looking at natural treatments like this to incorporate into our clinical practice, because over time more studies are coming out that provide evidence about them, and it is our moral obligation to inform ourselves about any useful treatment for our patients, whether it is born in a laboratory or as natural as garlic itself. And thank you very much for staying with me until here. What do you think of the benefits of garlic? Do you usually consume it? I read you here below in the comments, and if you found it useful, it is possible that this similar video will also be of interest to you. Take care a lot.